not objective. The T got to come into play where you got to throw your tongue out. Or the R is always usually common in being absorbed or eaten up. Not 42 string, but 42nd string. S-P-R-I-N-G is spring. But somehow or other it became S-W-I-N-G, swing. Okay. In Singapore, we have the word called Chua Chu Kang. But the pronunciation came Cha Chu Kang. Strategies are actually three simple vowels blocked into it, or three simple consonants blocked into it. But when it came, when the person speaks very fast, it became strategic. Strategic is not the right way to pronounce it. It's strategic or strategy. People who say STAFF staff wanted to come up with the American question. Staff. I want to know what's going to happen. Korean, Korean became Korean. So the good part of being a language evaluator is to not only use your listening skills, but also your other skills of how you can become better evaluators. You are the king when it comes down to evaluation down here, because you are giving your opinion for everyone to learn. And from here we can see there are other good aspects that we can see. A-E-I-O-U must always have before the word an invention, an animal. But when you sit down and say such words too fast, creation, invention, you forgot a simple word. Creation of an invention. You got to put that in, otherwise you will start spoiling your pronunciation, your presentation of sentences, that forget its basic concept. Sometimes I'm wondering to myself, very strong use word of alliterations and contrasts. I want a decision there and then. Very strong, very emphasized, and very appropriate. But when we sit down and say certain statements, one last thing, it could be more appropriate as one last point. A thing is a non-living thing, but we are not here to talk about a non-living thing. We are here to talk about one last point in my process of speech. I was wondering and trying to get a metaphorical or analogy into my body and say, my stomach just got blown. How do I blow my stomach up like a balloon? See, when you use the word balloon, okay, the stomach just ballooned. You can't use it like that. You can sit down and say it's either expanded or it bloated up. But if you use it to balloon, everybody got to sit down and think themselves and say, how do I make an analogy of this? The stomach did not go back. How does the stomach go back? If you take it literally, the stomach is going back, right? No. If you sit down and say it's either expanding or contracting, more appropriate use of words. Good use of contrast. Speak on your feet or eat maggots. But in the end, we are wondering whether you eat maggots or nuggets. You can play with words. So, in here, I'm sometimes wondering to myself, when I looked at the buffalo, can you please qualify for me really poor eyesight? How do you classify as poor eyesight and rich eyesight? The usage of the word when you say really poor, what do you mean by really poor in my eyesight? Can there be a definition to say poor eyesight? If you just simply put it as poor eyesight, yes. But if you put the word really down there, the emphasis sometimes goes out and beyond the construction of sentence. These are some of the areas that give me the few versions of the good, the bad, and the ugly that we can always come out and say how we can appropriately avoid. Preparation needs opportunity. The 4 E's and the 1 P tells us that if you can have the right freak of fiction in following, you can always come back with the bell that tells you either you get up and move or you get moved off. With that, thank you very much.